So as you know, we're doing a bit of a Walking Dead special. We thought we'd take a look at something that premiered on FX channel, The Walking Dead Season 4, of course.
Yes.
Sonya, what are your thoughts, your initial thoughts?
Well, you know, we're in season 4, and I think it actually did start fairly strongly.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed a lot of the character development that happened in this episode. The acting in it was really quite strong.
There
There
are
was a
some
lot of
good
character.
performances.
There were a few weak points where I kind of went, really?
Any in particular?
I'm not going to go into that. That's fine.
No names.
Overall, I think that it was pretty strong. I really enjoyed the set piece, though, that happened.
The major
Now,
action scene.
We should just mention, look, if you haven't watched this episode yet, you might, and you want to watch it spoiler-free, you might want to just skip over this, because
We won't go
might
into
give
too much
something
detail.
away.
Yeah, but
there is a fantastic set piece with zombies falling through a roof, which looked amazing, and it just added that extra bit of, oh my god, what's going to happen?
Yeah.
Which I think this, episode 1 needs to happen for a fourth season. You need to get that real action happening and the threat of the zombies happening again, which I think did really well. Although I would have liked it to have gone a little bit longer. But, my main thing that I'm looking for in this season, though, is Carl. I want him to develop. I need him, the actor is getting older, therefore the character needs to be getting older and
kids
a
do
bit
that.
more, this kid's grown up in a zombie apocalypse. He needs to become a little bit more hardcore. He needs to be a little bit more like Carl in the comic books, if I might say.
Because, a lot of stuff's gone down for Carl in the comics. He's come
lot.
a long way
Yeah.
over the time frame.
Looks
in
a
that.
little different.
Yes, he does. We won't go into details.
Do you think that's
why,
holding people up from empathizing with this character, perhaps?
Well, I think maybe they do want him to move on.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I do. I'd like him to
yeah.
move on, become more of a threat, maybe play with his personality a bit more, sort of see the effects of growing up in this world. Yeah, I think that would be a good thing.
Yeah, but I mean, overall, I did really enjoy this. I'm looking forward to seeing how the season's going to progress.
Okay,
Fair enough.
What about you, Al?
Well, I think it's one of the main things that we need to point out. This is a new season with a new showrunner. I mean, we've got Scott Gimple taking over as showrunner. I think there were a lot of people.
Change it up a bit.
Yeah, well, it's like when a sports team's foundering a little bit, you bring in a new coach.
Yeah,
I think that's kind of what's been happening here. Season 3, there were a lot of people felt it was kind of getting a bit loose, getting a bit slow in the third season. So they've jumped in with a new showrunner. I mean, we're already seeing there's more of a focus, I think, on zombies and zombie action than there was in the third season. Third season very much about human-on-human violence, which, all well and good, but this is called The Walking Dead. So, maybe get the zombies getting a bit of a throwdown. So I think that's looking good. I'm glad they're going more in that direction. Also glad that they're keeping a hold of one of the main things that have kept people watching, which is the end of episode cliffhanger.
Yes.
I mean, I've got to say, in all honesty, way more of a fan of the comics than I am of the TV show. I feel that it's been fairly sanitized. It's been fairly sort of diluted, I guess. I mean, the violence, there's still obviously extreme violence, but not anywhere near as bad as the comics. And sometimes I feel like I want to get some of that crazy violence in there.
Yeah, well, that's where I think the potential of this new threat, which we won't
mention anything about that one.
Cliffhanger on the end of this one.
Exactly. Might well, breed a new kind of life into this world. It's something I think that probably could have been touched on a little earlier, given the circumstances, the reality of this world.
Yep.
Sure.
So I'm interested to see what this is going to yield.
Yeah, it should be explosive. It should be pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's right. And look, the episode's really good, but I have my reservations because historically, the season by season, they start off very strong,
Really strong,
and then they sort of dwindle out by the end. It's almost as though they lose direction or the stakes.
The momentum maybe
exactly the
drops a little
momentum.
bit.
Yeah, they're not. There's no satisfaction every couple of episodes. They're not moving forward. They're not closing any conflicts or arcs.
And maybe they're relying a little too much on that sort of end of episode crazy thing. It's boring. People talking. Oh, geez, what's that? Okay, now I have to watch the next one. And you feel a little bit irritated by that as well. A bit cheated that you were ready to let it go, and then but why did that? Fine, I'll watch the next one. And it's not, you're not doing it because you're enjoying it, you're doing it because you have to know. That's not really treating the fans that fairly, I
Do you think that it would suffer if just one of those episodes or a couple episodes didn't leave that cliffhanger, perhaps? It was just, almost...
well, it depends on whether you really have the solid story in there carrying you through. Because if there's a good solid story, there's interesting stuff happening in the episode.
That's right.
You're gonna keep
So it doesn't
You
matter.
can get away without a big sort of end of episode craziness.
Yeah, exactly.
But you do need that strong through line, you know, a really compelling story that keeps people watching. Or you know, they always had that in the comics. They did have the cliffhanger endings, but they kept, you know, the really solid story going through.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Well, that's what we thought. So you guys can leave your comments on our Facebook, our YouTube, and we'd be really interested to see what you think.
Yeah.